Let me see if this fixes it a little bit. Oh, hopefully you guys might. Oh, it sounds like it might be able to. Thank you, Acorn, for bearing with me. Shout out to Acorn Dripworth. Very great man right there. Appreciate him. Let me see if this fixes it a little bit. Okay. So it looks like that's all I needed to do is turn up a setting, but that's exactly why I'm doing this. So, yeah. This is the opportunity for you guys to ask me questions. This is an open Q&A. You can ask me about anything. You can ask me about what stories I'm working on, what I may know about X, Y, or Z company, what I know that I can prove about X, Y, and Z company. There's a plethora of things. You could ask me my favorite color. I don't really care. The beautiful thing about this is I actually have the chat right here on my phone, so I can actually see it now. I'm going to ask you guys to do me a really big favor. I see you guys have already probably clicked the like button. If you could share it with anyone that might be interested in just having a little bit of a conversation here, I'm all for it. Not really sure how long I'll be doing this. Shouts out to my little brother over here. There we go. I think so. Is it sound okay? Does this sound good? Could just turn this up. Having a little bit of a conversation here. I'm all for it. Sounds pretty clean to me. Sure how long I'll be doing this? Yeah. So what's the first question you guys have for me? I see two of you guys in there. What do you want to know about? Do you want to know about remediation? I've been talking a lot about that. I've been deep diving into that quite a bit. Do you want to talk about the ongoing lawsuit within Ohio with some of these very large operators and some international MSO operators, or not international, within the nation? It's pretty crazy, this whole lawsuit. Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah. It sounds good to me. Okay. And that is another thing. There is a delay. So right now I am, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. What does that mean? Yeah. We'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So about a 19-second delay there. So I apologize for counting to you guys, but just understand that I'm going to be about 20 seconds behind everything that you guys post on here. Do you have a good idea how many cultivators do remediation in Ohio? Is it all? So here's the reality. Even if they don't label it as remediation, almost all of these guys, and it's not just in Ohio, are doing some form of remediation. The cost... Well, the cat just got in here. I'm going to have to fix that in a second. But the cost of... It's not even about the cost of what a plant really is, because these guys are acting like it's gold and they're never going to find it again. But they don't even have the unicorn cuts that are like the original Z cut or anything like that. They have like 92 cookies is something that Buckeye will never ever throw away, solely because of the fact of it's sales driven and it seems like it sells well. So they're terrified of getting rid of it because they don't think they have something to replace it. And that goes for all of the companies. That's not just like some one person said this and another person did that. It's all of them. So when you're operating on such a large scale like that, I mean, they don't want to throw out anything, let alone a full crop. Even if it comes down to like what'll happen sometimes is, for example, in Ohio, the way that the testing things are done, you just kind of got to work around all of them. So here in Ohio, you're able to test up to 3 times. Your initial test, and if it fails, you can test again. And then again. So with that being said, what I've seen a lot of these guys do is they'll just test it, let it sit for a while, and usually what'll happen is those mold colonies, if they pick out the large amounts of mold, you still got a little bit of mold in there, but it passes the test. Because A, the large amounts that are there have been picked out. And then the small amounts and the spores and everything that are like that, they're not gone. They may have died off. You have dead mold stuff, dead mold spores or dead mold cells, but those mycotoxins are still there. We test for about 5 here in Ohio, and we have one of the strictest testing here in Ohio. And on top of that, we just doubled the way that we test for mold here in Ohio is we do it by what's called the total colony forming units. So this is all yeast, all molds. What they do is they take it, they put it into essentially like a petri dish. They let it grow for about 3 days. And then after that 3 days, mold spores will have grown. Now, they count those mold colonies, not mold spores. Mold colonies will have grown. Oh, no, the dog's in here. Give me 1 second. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. Keep them away. Don't worry about it. I got the door. I need you to keep them away. Thank you. All right, so what was I saying about the mold colonies? So the way that we test here in Ohio specifically is by the colonies that are there. So as I was saying, there's that petri dish. After 3 days of it sitting there, what they'll do is they'll kind of count the little dots of mold colonies that are there. And Ohio had a threshold of 50,000. Whereas they just doubled it to 100,000, which is pretty insane. I guess a lot of people weren't able to pass the test, and in every industry, what they do is the stakeholders or the people who operate in that space get a say on what the rules actually are. So they were complaining like, hey, like we can't sell this bud because we can't pass this test without remediation. And there's a rule that you guys are trying to pass that we haven't passed, saying that any product that's remediated has to be labeled. Now, to my understanding, that's a rule that's being talked about right now, but it hasn't actually come into play. I think that's extremely important. I think it needs to be put out there because with these remediation methods that they have, whether it be extraction, which does kill the living mold colonies, or X-ray, gamma ray, microwave, ozone, all these other ways, they only kill the living mold colonies. They don't kill the mycotoxin. The mycotoxin is the part of it that's actually dangerous to us. The mycotoxin is like vomitoxin, which has almost identical symptoms to cannabis hyperemesis syndrome. So, when we can't test for it because we don't have a testing standard for it, we don't have a state certified SOP that's based on scientific evidence, which I did send to the lab director a paper that does do exactly that. So we might be able to get something like that here in Ohio. There's just ways around it. So even if they're not remediating, they're still passing moldy buds. I mean, the person that asked me that, I think you know that there's moldy buds in almost everywhere. It's unfortunate. And when you're just at that large scale, it's just kind of, it seems like an inevitability. I know it's not every single person, because a lot of what happens is, I know a lot of these underground growers, they'll get moldy buds or they'll get something like that and they'll throw that shit out. I was talking with a underground operator recently who was telling me, hey, you're right. I actually got hit with powdery mildew recently, and like, I didn't know what else to do. I had to throw everything in my stable away and start all over. I scrubbed everything. It wasn't easy, but you have to do it. And these small guys, and even a lot of these hemp guys, at least the Ohio ones that I've talked to, it makes more sense for them from their perspective to throw that away. For some reason, these large-scale operators that don't understand the inner workings of cannabis and the industry as a whole don't want to throw those genetics away. So if you have something that's infested with root rot or powdery mildew, which yes is systemic, meaning that once that powdery mildew explodes out of that plant, that whole plant's got it. And on top of that, by the time it explodes out of that thing's like a glitter bomb. Like, it's everywhere. So that crop's done. That room is pretty much done. You're going to have to start all over. You're going to have to clean it all out. And they don't, like, yes, they may clean things. They may think that they're over cleaning things, but they're not clean. You can't clean powdery mildew out of a plant. You can clone off of it, and you may even get powdery mildew in clone. And I've seen it. It's a scary thing. Another question here. How does the Ohio market compare to the Michigan market? Is the cannabis better or just cheaper? Are they suffering from the same issues as Ohio? So that's a couple of questions there. So, and I appreciate those. Thank you very much. The first one is, how does the Ohio market compare to the Michigan market? So there's levels to this. So first, I'm going to talk about the legal market, the metric market, the stuff you see in the dispensary. And then I'm going to talk about the gray market, and I'm going to talk about how the state is treating that gray market. So, and I'm also going to talk about a couple of things Michigan doesn't have that I don't know if we could have them right now, seeing the lawsuit that just happened. The first part of that is, how does the legal market in Michigan stack up to the legal market in Ohio? Well, let me pull this up, because I was actually just looking up the number of licensed operators up there. And I specifically was looking up the number of, the number of growers in Ohio versus Michigan. As I had already said on this, I think I have already said on this live stream, we only have 37 growers here in the state of Ohio, 37 licensed growers. Now, people argue, oh, well, the rec market's still new. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Who got rec licenses? All the med guys. The same 37 people got licenses in rec that had a license in med. So they just transferred all their med products over to rec. I'm telling you, dude, like when we first went rec, right before it, what was going on is people were buying up each other's supply and then intentionally sitting on it with the expectation of, when rec hits, that everyone's going to hit the market. Everyone's going to flock to the dispensaries, and we're just going to sell out of everything, and the state's going to be out of weed. That never really happened. Like, maybe a little bit. We never ran out of weed. We never came close. The reason being is because people were still sitting on bud that was 6 months old. I remember years ago, the owner of Rivera Creek was in a House testimony or a Senate testimony. He was at the State House, and he was testifying, saying, we can't open this state up. It's already oversaturated. I'm sitting on hundreds of pounds of marijuana, and I don't know what to do with it. Lower the price. Sorry if you got earbuds in, but that's the answer, is lower the price. It's very simple, but they don't want to do it. They don't want other competitors coming in and lowering the price, because they can make it lower, but they choose not to. It is what it is. So we have 37 licensed growers here in the state of Ohio. Where is it? I had one over here. I had this pulled up specifically for these things. License. That's the cannabis cost. I was also looking up what the regulations and costs look like here versus there. So I may pull that up too. So as far as cultivation operators, meaning they may have more than one cultivation site, there's 430 unique cultivation operators as of May of 2026. They have over 100 times the number of growers that we have. Does it surprise you that they have cheaper weed? Oh yeah, it's cheaper. I'm not sure if YouTube will take this down or not because I'm talking about prices, but I mean, if we're talking about the average price of an ounce here in Ohio versus the average price of an ounce in Michigan of the exact same quality, we're looking at about $150 for the mid tier versus about $70 for the mid tier. If that, like, you can get, for $70, you can get things that are a lot better than our $150 ounces here in Ohio. Damn near. It's, especially if you know where to shop. If you go all the way up to Ann Arbor instead of Monroe, bro, Things are way fresher. It's way cheaper. I'm telling you, some of those quote max out deals are insane, which is also why SB 56 got passed and these licensed operators used their money that they made from the dispensaries, from the grow facilities, from the processing facilities, and lobbied these, like all the people that were in charge of this bill for SB 56. They lobbied them to where SB 56 could pass. They don't have to worry about, oh, now if you go to Michigan or if you go to New York and go to the Indian reservations or anywhere else, really, if you come back into this state and you have cannabis on you and it's not from a licensed dispensary in the original packaging in the trunk of your car, you've committed a crime. You're going to get in trouble. You're at very least going to get a ticket. That's not what we, the people, voted on. None of us wanted that. But they seem to think that that's not what we wanted. So is it just cheaper? No, it's better. It's better quality for the same price by far. And it's because it's a competition. Now, people argue that Michigan's oversaturated, and I haven't even looked in here. I see someone. Okay. So we'll move on from that question. Well, no. We got to finish. So let's talk about Ohio's gray market versus Michigan's gray market. Now, Michigan's gray market, also known as the caregiver market, has a long history to it. And it has some things like Vehicle City Social, Clio Cultivation, and I think one or two other safe access points where they have gotten the city on board. They've already fought legal lawsuits and held up, and they have a safe access point for caregivers to provide products to people. Here in Ohio, we don't have any legal safe access point. We do have gray market events, and they have been popping off, and the people absolutely love them. In fact, I would argue a lot of the Michigan scene has died off because of the fact of Ohio events have been popping off. And you can ask anyone who goes to the events. It is what it is. I mean, events in Dayton, events in Cleveland, events in Columbus. I've seen a couple in Cincinnati. There's a couple by a couple of people I wouldn't recommend, but there's a couple that I would definitely be like, dude, they really know what they're doing. There's a lot of people with a lot of passion here in Ohio. But the reality is under Ohio issue 2, all of that was technically legal per the gift and donation method. Now gifting is only legal in your primary residence. So they intentionally did that. Again, that's the legal operators making it more illegal to be anyone but them. And again, that's not unique to Ohio. Michigan's doing the same thing. There's been a battle between Michigan Metric and Michigan caregivers for a very long time. Originally, the dispensaries that were out that way were legitimate things. There's a man, Antisocial Club, poor man, Kyle, man, I really reach out to him after this one. But he was running a dispensary that was a caregiver dispensary for a long time. People that were caregivers could meet up with someone and give them product that they've grown themselves, their overages, and sell those to the dispensaries. And then people that are med patients could come in and buy them. And then eventually the metric market came in and said, no, we're not doing that. And dispensaries like Poor Man ASC or Antisocial Club, ASC, his dispensary got shut down. You can look up Kyle Chipman, dude. It's not good. It's really sad what happened. It is what it is, but it's the same thing that's happening here in Ohio where there's a lawsuit going on now, and it looks like there was a couple of things that already kind of preluded to it, talking about the hemp market in Ohio is getting a very large lawsuit from the metric operators, Jushi or Beyond Hello, Shangri-La, Buckeye Relief, Standard Wellness. All of these guys are suing a very, very large lawsuit in Butler County. They're going after retail stores, labs. They're even going after FedEx, UPS, and Shopify. You'll notice they're not going after USPS, the United States Postal Service. Why? Because they have to follow federal regulations, and they know that. And there's things that are shipped through the hemp market through USPS. because it's been federally legal since 2018. Is it a loophole? Yeah, absolutely. But it is what it is. So the last part of this question, are they suffering from the same issues as Ohio? I think I've kind of answered that. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely suffering from a lot of the same issues. That's a lot of these large scale guys versus a lot of the small scale guys. So next question, next comment. Real people need to learn the difference between real hemp and fake hemp. It's a wacky market, but THCA flower is real cannabis. You understand how that works, correct? Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think there's a thing as fake hemp, but synthetics are a problem. And I think everyone, for the most parts, that's good actors would agree with that. But it's one exploit. And that's to say everyone does it as far as those rich guys, because how many billionaires did not pay any taxes this year? I paid more taxes than a lot of those billionaires. It's insane, but it is what it is. That's in large part why a lot of these cannabis operators want to be Schedule 3, so that way they don't have to pay the same level of taxes anymore. They can write almost everything off. It's another conversation. But the synthetics is what they're doing is they're taking crude CBD and they're chemically converting it in different ways over to other molecules that aren't technically illegal, even though just recently, like HHC, the hydrogenated THC, that just got marked as a Schedule 1 drug in the FDA, or the DEA's Controlled Substances Act. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can get through, but it's only going to last so long. But technology moves faster than regulation, as it's supposed to. Innovation's pretty quick. Legislation's not supposed to be quick. If it's ever quick, lobbyists paid for something. When things are done at 4 a.m., look into it. Someone got paid. A lot of people got paid. Anyway, so you understand how that works, correct? Yep. There's definitely an overstock issue. Not sure if it still is. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Yeah, there's definitely an overstock issue. I hear people say it all the time here in Ohio still. Things just aren't moving as fast as they wanted it to. And the real reason is because, bro, I'm going to come into this dispo once, see the price, and walk out. When I worked in the dispensary of here in Paynesville, like that happened all the time. People would come in, take a look at the menu, and be like, dude, I can't even get an eighth. Where's the eighths? What do you mean this Ohio 10th? This is a joke, and it is. Ohio is literally a joke for the entire rest of the industry. Is what it is. It's more of a free market, same as New York, Massachusetts, etc. I'm assuming you're talking about Michigan. In these states, they allow micro licenses, unlike Ohio allowing small craft licenses. Yep, that's absolutely true. So that's one of the things in Michigan is, so you have a company like Pure that's allowed to get in there, and they're a gigantic conglomerate. But then you've also got the micro license level where people like Winewood Organics, someone that's only got 6 people working there, one of which is a good buddy of mine named Derek. He is one of the very few true fully certified ganjiers in the world, which is not a small deal by any means, by the way. He's their front store guy. He's the guy who chooses all their genetics. He's the guy who chooses a lot of that stuff. He helps set the dispensary side of things in the right way, and then their grower is someone that's really good at growing. Same thing with their processing. Whereas they don't have the same level of like gigantic space. They have 100 plants that they're allowed to grow in their facility. And within that facility, everything has to be there. You have to have your dispensary storefront in the front. You have to have your processing lab and your grow facility all there within that building. Winewood, it's not easy to do that because they're in the middle of Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is very, very expensive, both in housing as well as just business real estate. It's not cheap. All right, so yeah, if Ohio did allow micro grows, I think you would see the number of people going to the dispensary as a whole go way up, and that's what I think a lot of these guys don't understand. If you're Buckeye Relief, right? If you are Buckeye, they're looking at it as I don't want 6 small growers that sell out of their product every time in the market, because that means that all of those people that come to the dispensary and buy all of that stuff are going to buy their stuff instead of my stuff. That's the way they look at it. But what they're not looking at it as, there's a lot of those people that will never buy their product because they feel that it's subpar product. Now, for every 20 of those people that come in and buy that product that will never buy their product, there may be 1 or 2 that would buy their product, but they're still going to choose the other superior product, especially if they're able to do it at a better price. It's just capitalism. It's free market capitalism. That's what happens. So what they're not looking at it as those 1 or 2 out of the 20 people or plus that would buy their product that would have never came to the dispensary in the first place if it had not been for those other 20 some people talking about this 6 growers that are phenomenal growers. But it is like, all right, well, it's out of stock. What else do I buy? Oh, hey, look, there's this Buckeye flower. I've heard they're not bad. They're a little expensive, but I guess I'll get one of those because nothing else is there. So that's the way they're not looking at it. And that's part of the problem. That's why if you look at it, the numbers are just not there. Before we went rec, I don't think we even had 500,000 med patients in this state. And I'm sure those numbers have gone down because people are like, I just don't care anymore. The only reason I had the med card, not me, but the reason a lot of people only had their med card is because they wanted rec weed, but they couldn't get it any other way. So they knew they had a medical ailment. So they used the medical ailment to get the card, because why not? We all have things. I have PTSD. I have chronic pain from doing a lot of really dumb stuff as a kid, as well as jujitsu as an adult. I mean, I broke my rib doing boxing when I was right in the middle of COVID. Let's see. What else do we got here? Happy to be here and watching. This man travels all through Ohio supporting. This is true. And shouts out to Bud Battle. Actually, if he asks, I'm going to have to go in this other room and I'm going to have to get one of these 4 card packs, and you guys are going to have to choose which one. Great value smoke. That's the Kirkland pack. You know what? I tell you what, I am going to go get one of those packs. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get all 4 of those packs, and you guys are going to choose which one I open on stream. Okay. I hope you guys are all still there and haven't left me yet. Oh, same number of people. I appreciate you. Yeah, pop a pack. I'll replace it, bro. You don't have to replace it. But you do got to get those cards in more stores. I'm telling you, man. Just go to a couple of head shops. Oh, dude. I would definitely go travel 20, 30 minutes to get some of these packs if I could get them at a store. Just throwing that out there. So, all right. I know it's going to take about 20 seconds, but I got 4 packs here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys choose which pack. I'll let you guys do it in the comments. It says again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to set those right here. You guys tell me a number 1 through 4. First one to comment on it and say it, that's who I'm going with. And by the way, in case you guys were wondering what this sign back here is, back during the No on SB56, I went up to Amplify and I held up this sign and I collected signatures. Because, again, as I said, there's this lobby called OCAN, and they push this bill really heavy. And they're still pushing all kinds of nonsense, anti-cannabis propaganda. It blows my mind. So I'm still over here waiting. Anyone? I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 packs. Which pack am I going to open for you guys? This is actually a really cool game. It plays similar to a lot of the Bandai games or Pokemon TCG, where you have like an active battle monster or battle bud battle. And then you have benched monsters. You have breeder cards, which are cards that you can use on your turn to do certain things. Like it could be something like discard your hand and draw 7 cards, which is a full hand. You have like, if you lose a monster or a bud battle, you have 6 score cards. And if you lose all of those, if those all go to your hand because one of your monsters died, then you lose. It is what it is. This is fun. We need 3 for more level 3 cultivators. All right, 3. All right, I got you. So we got 1, 2, and this one is 3. I'm excited. Something cool in here. Boop. All right. All right. I got Star Rhino. Not sure how well you guys can see what, so I'm just going to hold it there for a second. And this is what the back of the card looks like. Pretty cool. Instead of having first edition, it says original harvest there. I got Cannabis Trader. And this is one of those breeder cards. So trade one of the basic strains or evolution cards in your hand. And weed. I like that. You know, he did say all of these pictures were from Ohio. My dude, did you see an alien? I'm jealous. So we got the Sour Lemon D. It grows from the lemon diesel. So this is a evolution. It has strain power. Attach soil X on one strain as often as you'd like during your turn. This doesn't use up your 1 energy card from the turn. That's pretty cool. As often as you'd like during your turn. Oh, that's broken. That's really broken. So this is the Sour Lemon D. Such a beautiful card. Boop, boop, boop. All right. All right, got the Durban seedling. I do enjoy a good Durban. Ooh, I can't wait to show you guys the next one. This is the Durban seedling card, which there is a Durban poison that it eventually grows into. I love me some Durban. Actually, that's some seed packs I got over there that I'm going to be popping again here real soon. I'm going to leave the breeder card for last because I want you guys to see it. I got a lucky one. I kind of wanted this one for a while. So I got for my hollow rare card, I got the Grape Star Rhino. Grows from the Star Rhino. Strain power. Damage swap as often as you'd like during your turn. Before you attack, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your strains to another as long as you don't knock out that strain. This power can be used if Grape Star Rhino is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Its power, its move is Piney Aroma. That is pretty cool. Oh, you guys can see all that. Yeah, so, of course, an energy card. Now, this is a cool one. And this is a story, too. So right here, we got this Ohio Boys breeder card. Now, I know there's been some drama involved with Ohio Boys, not of his choosing, but I still think he's good people. I think he's cool. I've had some conversations with him. I've talked to the people around him that know him and have known him for a long time. And I'm not worried about it, man. I'm more worried about someone calling the city on a dude than I am about that. All right. So, let's see. Do you guys have any other questions? I see we got 5 people in here. Always appreciate you. Going ahead and gonna ask you guys to like, subscribe, share the video with someone that you think might be interested in this kind of content. The next podcast episode that I plan on doing, I'm not going to do it live. It's going to be right here. It's going to be me and a good buddy of mine, Dave Gracie. He is Helson Gracie's son biologically. He was actually given up for adoption as a baby. He has since gotten to know his dad, his whole family. He's gotten to go to the Gracie 100 for Helson's dad's 100th birthday. Dude, it's insane. Some really cool story, really heart gripping. Definitely excited to get you guys to hear his story. Name one anime character you would like to fight. That's a good question. So now that's dependent on a lot of things. I know I'm gonna lose 9 times out of 10 with any anime character, even like the weak ones. Like even if it's like Yamcha, Yamcha would probably fuck me up from Dragon Ball. So if I had to fight one, the question comes down to after we fight, do I get to hang out with them after? Because that changes the perspective entirely. Assuming that we don't get to, I would want to choose someone that I feel like I could win against. But the problem is I don't feel like I could win against a lot of anime characters. There's some OP animes out there. Who would I want to fight? Well, there's no real jujitsu shows. I mean, there's Jujutsu Kaisen. It'd be cool if I could have the same powers as the in-world person. Oh, yep. You can have the same powers available in their world. Oh, okay. This changes everything. Honestly, I would still probably die, but not Crollo from Hunter x Hunter. The clown Hisoka. I would love to fight Hisoka. Just because the level of complexity that he has, like especially if he like lets me live and doesn't fucking instantly kill me, which he probably would. Nen being that power system that's built unique to you in your mind, and then everything's still a strategy. Oh man, that would be so cool. Hisoka would probably be my answer. I wouldn't go Killua because Killua would not, like, he would kill me 100% instantly. There would be no... Hisoka would keep me alive as long as I'd be entertaining him. Killua would kill me instantly. Done. Gon would be fun to fight. We would definitely be able to hang out afterwards. I would love to smoke weed with Gon. That would be fun. What other questions do you guys have for me? Like I said, I like that one. I like that one's super unique. I would also probably, if we were to go to another one, obviously like Goku, just because again, Goku likes to have fun with his fight rather than just a fight. What about a Nintendo 62 Mario Kart tournament or Nintendo 64 Mario Kart tournament? Bro, that would be so much fun. Honestly, like we don't even got to go the Nintendo 64 route. They have a lot of really good newer Mario Karts alongside a grow competition. That would be fun. So that's one thing that I do feel like the event scene needs more of. And for the purposes of YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and step over here and talk to you guys off the camera while I hit my pen. But that's definitely one thing that I would say. Here we go. This is perfect. That's one thing that I would say I feel like the event scene as a whole needs is just more things to do while we're at the event. If I'm traveling 2 or 3 hours to go hang out with my friends at an event, I'm not looking to just buy something and then leave and then go home. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are, but what I would really, really like to do is just have somewhere to hang out. You know what I mean? Like, if I can sit there and play, have a Nintendo 64 Mario Kart tournament while I'm waiting on like a couple of my buddies to go do some things at the event too at a different part, that would be awesome. You know, it'd be really cool if we could see an event that's kind of like a Pokemon TCG event where they're trading Pokemon cards alongside a cannabis event. I think a lot of people would go for that. Just no kids. We cannot have any kids there. Adult only Pokemon. And not like that. I'm dying. I'm not really, but it's okay. Ignore that. I've got to repaint this whole wall. I want to bring the 90s back, man. You ever seen that Little Dicky music video about the 90s? That's a really good one. So, you guys have any more questions before I let you guys go? I got another 20 minutes or so. I think I'm going to sit here and talk to you guys because I really enjoy this. And I would like to do more of these things. Of course, I would like to do more podcast episodes. I've got the new Rodecaster Video S over here. I've got the new camera. I've got this mic. I've got a secondary mic, obviously. I need to get a new chair or two. I need to repaint this wall. But yeah, it's coming soon. And then from there, we'll be doing a lot of things like advocacy work. I've got a lot of people from the hemp industry that would like to talk and speak their story and tell you guys that it's not just the synthetics that you guys are thinking about. It's not just the D9 or D8. Like, dude, there's a lot to all of this, and there's a lot of nuance within the industry at every level that I just feel like needs talked about a little bit more. Appreciate you coming. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being in here right now. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I have not made a dime doing any of this. I've made a little bit of money from one video, one review that I did, where it wasn't even getting paid to do it. They kind of reimbursed me for it. And even then, it's kind of like it really wasn't anything. And I did a really, really in-depth one where I kind of was like, I told them straight up, like, I'm going to be honest. I went on PubMed and I looked into everything. It is what it is. Yeah. I do this for you guys. I do this because I love the culture. I love the community. It took a long time to be able to afford to buy a nice mic, a nice camera, the equipment that I have now. It took a long, long time to get here. And this came out of my own wallet, even if we're talking about that one time that I got any money from any of this. I spent way more on this equipment, like way more. So you guys just being here right now, I really appreciate it. Do you guys have any other questions for me? What you want to talk about? Want to talk about my favorite episode of South Park? What's your guys' favorite episode of South Park? There are a lot of bangers. The Scientology episode's probably like top tier up there. There's been a lot of really good ones lately. I think the season ender of this last one really pulled everything together. There was a lot of people that were hating on the series or the season, but I really liked it. I did not like that they got rid of Integrity Farms. A lot of people were happy about that. I didn't like it. I liked Integrity Farms. But I will say, this whole industry ain't got no integrity, and I think they were saying that, and I think that's just they're stripping away your rights. And it's not just them. I just want to be very clear. It's not just Amplify stripping away your rights. It is all of these billionaires. I won't be voting for a billionaire this year. When it comes to the election, I I can't do it no more. These both parties that we normally think about are not great. Not great at all. And I just can't do it. None of them want to follow the means of the Constitution. Everyone wants to escalate everything and no one wants to de escalate anything. And I think it's time that we get someone in office that de escalates things. It's honestly gotten to the point where I've thought about running for some level of office myself. I don't want to. I really, 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 really don't want to. But like at a certain point, like I got to see what the fuck's going on from the inside too. I will say, ever since getting into this whole politics stuff, it's been wild. Just starting to scratch the surface of what's going on in this industry, and I highly encourage every single one of you to go follow the rooster.ohio. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, follow him on everything. Because, dude, he's unveiling a lot of shit. He's mainly focused on one side more than the other. But, dude, this one side's been in power for 10 years. So it's important that we figure it out, what's been going on there. The data center thing, when you find out that that's like a Wexner project, that's rough. He bought most of these politicians. John Husted voted against the Epstein files after taking money from Les Wexner. I thought John Husted wasn't terrible. I didn't like him during COVID, but man, that really hurt. Really hurt. You know what? I'm going to open one more Battle Bud pack, especially because Battle Buds is in here. Especially because I'm on camera. This one's got a little bit of dirt on the back of it. This is speaking for me. It's telling me I got to do it. I got to clean it up and open it. See what I get in here. Ooh, that's a pretty card. The moves are Gas and Zaza. It is Sour Diesel. We got another Cannabis Trader card, but this one is not holographic. I got the pink Slurpee, but this one is holographic. Severe warning. I got the straw lemon seedling. Oh, man. And then I got the last cannabis event that was technically legal here in Ohio, the Johnny Cannabis Farmers Market. That dude's a real good dude, too. All right, boys and girls. I think if you guys don't have any more questions for me, I think I'm going to hop off here. I got some spaghetti in the other room that's been cooking for quite a few hours. And, man, I can't wait. So, again, I'll give you guys 45 seconds. If I don't get any more questions in here, I think I'm going to pop out. Get some food. Get in my belly. Yeah. I'm a weird one, I know. Again, I appreciate all of you guys for joining in. Every one of you that have stayed to the end. It really does mean a lot. It means the world to me. I wouldn't do it if not for you. So, it is what it is. You probably hear that a lot from me. Let's see. Again, I appreciate all of you guys for joining in. Yep, I think we've given you guys more than 20 seconds. I see someone new just popped in. I'll give you guys one more chance. Any questions? Going once, going twice. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rodney Hash out. Peace.